Hello and welcome. My name is Nilos. This is Angels Mods tutorial. Let's play whatever we call it. This is a summary episode between our live streams. The live streams have now been moved from Monday to Friday to Monday and Thursdays. So we still have 2 streams a week and we are closing in on the late game and we have made some big strides forward. There is a tipping point in terms of angel spaces, or basically Bob spaces, and that comes when you get the modules. Once you get the modules, you have the capability to make things extremely productive. And that additional productivity, you can then use that to leapfrog ahead and really just blitz towards the end game. And this is where people always complain about, well, not always complain about, but when people say, oh, Bob's Angels is easy, well, that's because they only look at once you get this point, then you can do some quite crazy things with modules and beacons, because they scale not just quadratically, but cubically, if that's even a thing. So at the last point, we got the first tiers, the first 4 tiers of modules. We are using exclusively these raw speed that only adds speed, and the raw productivity that only adds productivity. So we suddenly get 20%, and we can put 4 or 5 into the machines. So that means you can get, well, in terms of 5, you get 100% productivity just like that, without any increase in power usage or increase in or slowness in speed. So that's pretty damn amazing. These are, objectively speaking, imbalanced. The cost of these is trivial because over time you just create them. And in the last episodes, last 2 streams, we actually continued the tech all the way up to, as you can see here, plenty of raw productivity modules. So let's have a look at that journey. The journey starts right here. We start with creating rainbows. I had a bit of a mishap, so unfortunately these were not working. That means I have a surplus of 3 of them, the ones over here. But the idea here is these machines, they create rainbows en masse, and once they create it, they go in here, get filtered out into these separate locations. The separate locations create a lot of crystal slurry. The crystal slurry then will go in here and it'll just use some basic, and I'll just throw it away. So we actually import sulfuric acid in here, and if you're kind of strained on that, as you would probably be in the C block base, then be mindful of it. But in this case, I can easily create it from coal, so I'm not worried about running out. And if so, I'll just find plenty of other ways to get lots and lots of that. So this is converting the slurry into crystal seedling. The crystal seedling is coming down here, and this is how we create crystal seedlings. Also need some crystal catalyst, or becomes crystal catalyst. So actually it comes crystal seedlings in, and then through a bit of intermediate process, we get the ore, the different ores. I've put this here, and you can see again they have productivity, but as I'm here, I might as well just replace it with the good productivity stuff, because why not? And that changes it all the way here. Let's have a look. Now it's just because of these 2, it goes to 80% productivity gain. Oh yes. And these can also be speed moduled, so productivity modules. So anything that can be productivity module will be, and that just dumps it up plus 200 productivity. That goes from, before we had these productivity, I now can say this one counts as 3, and that really just completely takes away all of the demand for, well, not all of it obviously, but through the whole process, because everything, every step of the process, in especially in the electronics part, is being moduled, there is really not very much usage of raw materials. And that's something you will find when playing Angels mods, is that once you get to modules, yes, the process is very difficult because of the number of components and the number of processes. And if even one runs out, well, then things go, oops, what is that actually happening? If even one goes wrong, then the whole process stops. But if you really come down to it, well, wow, all of these can be done. Crazy. Okay, so that's also quite significantly improved. I'll also take that one. And this is the other one. This is a beacon Mark 1. I don't know, just replace it with a beacon Mark 2. And then throw some more. So this is also how absurd it is. It has a better distribution, 75%. It can take 4 modules, and it can then take better modules. So that's like 3 dimension. Oh yeah, in its larger area. So that's 4 dimensioned. It scales. This is too much. Sorry, Mr. Bob, that's too much. And that is why things go absolutely crazy. However, this is what C block is also fixing, so good job on C block. But since it's not a C block, I wouldn't see no point in not using it. In the end, it's just more raw materials coming in. So that's basically, now we have the gems that going through this process. It's actually quite simple. This one doesn't actually provide these, but all this keeps the ore here, and they go a lot. What is interesting is that it actually stores 1000. So it's like 1000 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23,000 polished emeralds is in storage just to feed this one. That is quite an absurd amount, but this is how I've decided the base should work. So it will produce a lot of things and hopefully start using some of the materials here. Not really cutting in deep, but that's because of my productivity modules. I don't want to elect not to do the productivity module just because it to use more materials, but what? Obviously not this one. Thank you very much. But I wanted to do that one. Yeah. Everything that is not the best one should have the best one. Should be no excuses. I want all of it to be the best it can be. Yeah, for example. There we go. Anything here? Whoa, that's a lot. And again, just go right ahead, because I have all the stuff I need. And when I need more, I'll just get more. Boom. You can see here, the stuff is coming in, and I'll go into this location. Boom. So this one, now that we just upgraded everything to Mark 8 modules, because why not? You can see here, all of the items are produced in various small components. These are working pretty fast. Go into this one, which I think I've overbuilt now that I put modules in everything. But it creates quite a lot. Even at that, it's just idle. Go in, going all the way up here. These are the two magical buildings. I'm getting these raw productivity modules in from the south, down here. They're coming in the last one we created. This creates 1 to 4, and 1 to 4 of the raw speed. And this one is now producing the 4 to, or 5 to 8. So they're just put in here, speed modules everywhere. These ones, they're working pretty damn fast. I could easily speed them up if I wanted to, but I don't think I need to. And you can see here, while I'm standing here, it just fills up. Like, what is it? What's the crafting speed? The crafting speed is working at speed 24, and that means I get one every 5 seconds of in-game time, and I'm running at a bit higher rates. So all these are working. Everything is working fabulously, and with a lot of modules in hand, I will then go out and into the wild and start building the next. The next thing I decided to build was, where is it? It's here, the blue circuits, because the blue circuits, I'm not actually using it for anything, but the blue circuits will, let's actually go here, board, is one of the things that are actually relevant to the late game. Now, you will look at these things and say, well, what is actually being required? But this one, Radar Mark 5, is absolutely essential, because look at this, it comes into the satellite. So you can't launch rockets without the electronic processing boards. Aside from this, yeah, it's used for a lot of endgame machinery, like steam crackers, not that I really need those, but strand casting, substations, splitters, ultimate splitters, all of these things for vehicles that I don't use, but also for some of the Roboport things, pumps, leaching plants, all those high level. And that's the one that's actually key. Assembly machines Mark 6, because Mark 6 can take 6 assemblers, and that increases the productivity gain here. Beacons Mark 3, also nice, because Beacons Mark 3, they transmit, I believe, 100%. So a lot of other things here. Power armor, excellent as well. Power armor, we definitely want that. We have Mark 2, but we need more so we can get a faster running speed. So this was a nice little one, easy peasy, nice to make, and everything here is Mark 8 moduled where possible. Outputting now, but not really inputting it to anywhere. So at this point we are saying, all right, the funny thing is why I'm choosing those two icons, because they're not actually being produced. It should be that one, and it should be this one. Yeah, now that's more accurate. That's also erroneous. That should be Mark 4, and then the other one, Mark 4, there. All right, so that's now continuing up the tech tree. What I also need to do then is, then I went down here to my mall and started looking at what I was missing. But let's go over to the mall. Mall is here. And I noticed that this one, right, I actually required cobalt steel. So that was actually preventing us from making everything red, was the fact that I needed cobalt steel. So cobalt steel come from cobalt steel ingot, but that means cobalt ingot and steel ingots. Like, really? Because I built like cobalt ingots many hours ago, and steel ingots, we have that already. So what's the point of not doing it? And that's exactly what we did here. Cobalt steel. That was a piece of cake to actually make once I decided to do it, but I had to sort of pushed it off for a while. This is also kind of absurd how much is actually needed. 28. So actually, if I could just do that one, boom, I think that should end up at 30,000, which I believe is a good number. Going there way too fast because the only thing it's being needed for is the express loaders. So that's maybe not worth spending too much money on. And that was that part. Then we started up. The next thing I want on my checklist, I'm starting making a to-do list out here. Next thing I wanted is the tungsten. So let's have a look at how tungsten is created. Tungsten, we are going to start simply as we need the tungsten ore. That comes from some of these mixed ones that I don't like. This one I could do, but I don't. I'm going to use this one. So hybrid catalyst, we built that long ago. All of these purified comes from the crystals, easy peasy, no additional hassle. So I'll make those on site. Now the stereotype crystals done. We have that. The barium crystals are done. The purified, the Juvenile crystals was not done. That was the only one that was missing. So I had to expand that. So let's have a look at this one, because that's the raw ingredients just to make the tungsten ore. And we need the tungsten ore to really progress with the base. And we need to go over here. This one. Oh, look at that. It's actually stuck here. Why is it stuck? No. Okay, so one of the concerns, one of the errors I made was during all the production of my rubite chunks, which is used for aluminium. Hold on, let's use this one. Let's go from this way. So the chunks are used for primarily aluminium, zinc ore. We don't need much zinc, but the rest are irrelevant. And that actually, when it goes in here, I need hydrofluoric acid. And hydrofluoric acid, and here, how do I make hydrofluoric acid? It really only comes in one way. It comes as a byproduct from acid gas, not reliable, because I'm not using petrochemicals. And it comes from a barrel, which is obviously not going to work. And then the last one is through the fluoride ore plus sulfuric acid. And it goes calcium sulfate, which goes back into sulfur dioxide gas. So that's okay. But the fluoride ore comes from fluoric wastewater, which is the stuff I've just been venting for ages, instead of just cleaning it and just leaving the fluoride ore available. Because over time, I'm pretty sure I'll have an excess of fluoride ore, except I just don't have it right now. But for example, this one, tungsten hexafluoride, how do we make that? I also need hydrofluoric acid for the tungsten. Ugh, disgusting. So the fluoride ore here comes that one. It comes from this, which I might actually have to do. I don't like it, but I might. But I'd really like to get some other way of doing it. Nope. That's the one I really would like to get, which is what we have here. So that's not going to work until we get a better setup here. So what if I just want to help myself here? I could do that here. Yep. There. So that one, by selecting this, these are of course working. And at some point you can see here, now that goes in here, goes in, and that produces the fluoride, the much requested fluoride, and it goes in easily. And that starts to feed here. And the residuals here, the residual is this sulfide, or what is it called? Calcium sulfate, which I can get back. I'm going to get this one as junk, but I don't know what to do about it, but whatever. I just store it as junk for now. I can always make it into mineralized water and then just vent it. But look at that. That's actually not the case. I shouldn't be doing that. Really shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, so this will not be able to feed in, but let's do this one just to make absolutely sure that they consume everything there is. Yeah? Yeah, I want everything consumed. There we go. That's much more like it. There we go. This one, nothing. But I don't want anything to accidentally pass up here just from the fluctuations of production. Is this... Okay, no, all of it's fine. And this one has stalled again. Really? Oh, no, 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 no. That's not how it works. Yeah. This one is just going crazy. And it's still not able to keep up. Wow, that's actually a bit crazy now, this one. Is this, that means this one fills up because I'm unable to process this fast enough. You know what? Just kill this one for a second, alright? There. And that one here. There. Okay, so that might be useful, but it also requires this just in case. All right. Yeah, they're all good. This is all good. Great. All right. So this is now working, and that was kind of the problem here. But let's follow the path. It goes into, I guess, this one, which again is picked up and moved over to here and picked up in here, and it's gone and it's picked up. Boom. And it comes in and it's picked up. Must be the empty one. Yep, here it is. Okay, so they're just ferrying it over nice and quietly. And 200 coming in. Boom. Okay, this one is, well, all of it is being consumed. You can see how far it's being transported, and because of the distance where it's being transported, it also takes quite a while to fill up, because each intersection takes 4,000. And they're coming in. How much do we have? Boom. All right, I need 4 additional 4. Let's see how much we get. Boom. Yeah, okay, that was a bit much, but the great thing is this one is now stacked up, and the next one will be filling up. It goes over here and goes go in here. This is as far as we got. We now have all the ingredients in order for us to build in the next episode. Some tungsten right out there, getting the tungsten all the way up and ferrying it back here. Once we have the tungsten, we can look at the tungsten. That comes either tungsten plates, not used for a lot of things, but it does use for these furnaces. A few other things need the higher ones. That's okay. Aside from this, we also have the This is powdered tungsten and tungsten powder. Powdered tungsten is not relevant because it only can be fused into one thing, so that one, I guess. Powdered tungsten can become... There you go, that's the one. Copper tungsten plate and tungsten carbide. Tungsten carbide is used for a few things, most notably the fact these here, that one. Heat shielding is part of the rocket, so absolutely. And what, tungsten axe? Is that better than the diamond axe? No, it's not. And that one is absolutely critical as well. What about this one? Used for 5 things, such as power armor, multi-purpose, electrolyzer, and heat exchanger. Wow, that's not a lot of things, but you know, these need it multi-purpose. But we're gonna make it just because it's needed at one place, unfortunately. Good, so that's what we did then. As you can sort of sense, there are a few things we missed. We missed the tungsten and the tungsten chain. We missed the rocket fuel. We miss the silver nitrate battery, and we need the nitinol. Nitinol is easy. This is not so easy. This is absolutely horrible, and that one will take a bit of time. So if I look at this, there's probably going to be 4 episodes left before we really start launching rockets, and then we take it from there. So if you're also following this last stream, I asked for advice or some suggestions for a new series that we could play. I've gotten some really good one. It should be something where the average player coming in who is most familiar with vanilla should not see stuff like this, where it's like, I don't know what a single thing here is. Now, it should be recognizable from a vanilla perspective, but it certainly should not be a vanilla game, because we already have one of those. So I got suggestions about vanilla extended, some other parts, and be sure to either in the comment section below or in Discord, throw some ideas my way. I really am curious to get some kind of good idea for another long run series here on the YouTube streaming. Anyway, that's enough of a summary episode. I will be back in the streaming Mondays and Thursdays, so be sure to drop by. Let me know if I turned a pipe the wrong way, or forgot an underground pipe, or turned a belt the wrong way, or just some suggestions on what to improve and do better. So thank you very much. I'll see you sometime in stream or back here on YouTube. Bye.